my beautiful people, it's Jana and I'm back today with yet another video. And I'm super excited for this video, you guys, because we're gonna be taking a look at some very creepy videos. I'm warning you right now, some of these may give you nightmares. If you guys are ready for this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by asleepad8673, this redditor wrote, "Caution, cave children at play." Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about. Boat Juice Cowboy asked, "What are we looking for?" To which the redditor responded saying, "The random plastic children's boat in the cave water. Nothing crazy, but very off-putting when we realized what we were seeing." And shut the front door too followed up asking, "And what were you seeing exactly? Totally interested." To which the redditor responded saying, "There was a group of 3 people that were following us. They started throwing rocks or banging on the wall. Couldn't tell which, didn't exactly want to find out. They seemed to be very intoxicated, so probably just trying to scare us, but you never know. Seems like it's time to leave that cave. I only see this situation going from bad to worse."
I would be so pissed off if I was in a creepy cave with a bunch of random people and they started messing with me. Why are you throwing rocks? Are you 5 years old? That would definitely scare the crap out of me. I'm in this really creepy cave. All I'm gonna think about is the fact that it could be like a ghost or some sort of animal. I don't think anyone is instantly gonna assume that it's strangers just messing with them, because why would anyone do that? I guess this just shows you that sometimes it's not even ghosts that you have to be scared of. It's just other crazy people who just might want to mess with you for no reason. Definitely really weird.
We've all seen the creepy videos of the Serbian dancing lady. I've even shared the trend in one of my other videos. Here's another.
There is something so unsettling about the Serbian dancing lady, and I can't really put my finger on it. When I tell you, I would be so terrified if I ever came across the Serbian dancing lady. That is just one thing I do not want to mess with. She really scares me, okay?
Shared by YouTube channel blah blah. This video is trending in the Arabic speaking YouTube community. The original source of the video is TikToker Nika Els. I've analyzed a similar clip of hers in a previous video, but this one takes the cake. While the dancing is all fun and games, the big reveal is nothing short of horror. What's wrong with her face, and why is she pointing at us? This is a look that will haunt my nightmares.
What did I say? We're literally gonna have nightmares after watching this. The way she's dancing is definitely insanely creepy, but the way she turns around and points right at the camera gets me every single time. This just seems to be a thing that the Serbian dancing lady does, and it's always so scary.
In April of 2023, a dairy farmer outside of Austin, Texas, captured a mysterious entity on camera. His daughter uploaded the image, asking the internet at large what they think it could be. YouTube channel Project Mystery shares the footage with his audience. After the farmer heard some noise outside, he went to check it out. Near the cow pens, he saw this creature. What put him off was the chilling way the creature was walking. Further security footage captured the creature up close.
Is anyone else really struggling to see the creature in the video? I don't know if there's something wrong with my eyes, but I genuinely cannot even see what they're talking about. They're insinuating that it's some sort of like alien type of creature. But again, babe, I am definitely not seeing anything. So I don't know. Comment down below if you see anything.
The figure has long limbs, enormous black eyes, and appears emaciated. This looks like a clear extraterrestrial capture to me. But what is the extraterrestrial after? I think if it was planning an abduction, we wouldn't be watching this video. Maybe it's just hungry.
So I'm guessing it's the picture that we're supposed to be looking at, and I mean, there's very clearly a ginormous alien in that picture. Once again, in the video, I saw absolutely nothing, so I don't really even know how they got that picture. The creature seems to have every single characteristic of your average alien. Like, he has the long head, the long limbs, he's extremely tall, and he also appears to be gray. To me, it is definitely giving alien. Let me know what you think. Is it possible that the aliens have already invaded?
There are crybaby bridges scattered across the US, all with various legends surrounding them. YouTuber Hauntings with Hodge investigates this one in Delaware. The team pauses as they cross the bridge, and in the distance, you can hear a faint hooting, or is it sobbing?
You really see that? Oh, great.
Later, they find odd handprints on the truck of their vehicle.
That's me.
That's Gabe.
That's Gabe.
That's Gabe.
This is the random one we're not sure about.
That's a baby handprint.
They're so close
What
together.
this one? That
one looks like it got smeared long.
Yeah, but that's a baby handprint.
Yo, I don't like that, yo. Anyone here?
When they stop recording, they hear something.
We stopped recording maybe 5 minutes after that. Not even. And then we hear like tires screeching very faintly, and then out of nowhere, this scream.
That's a woman scream too.
That just... It was a...
Although they didn't capture this mysterious scream on camera, one viewer captures something in the darkness, a soft sob or moan that can be heard right before Kyla speaks. Listen closely.
It is definitely really concerning considering they're literally in the middle of nowhere. It is the middle of the night. I mean, that's a very scary situation to be in. However, I will say I would be way more concerned about the fact that they heard tires screeching and then a woman scream. They said this happened while they weren't recording, so there's no footage of it, but I feel like that's something that would definitely make me want to call the authorities.
The Mount Morris Mystery House has seen a number of investigative teams digging for paranormal activity. The YouTube team Spirit Walk Paranormal is one of them. Upon first entering the home, the team captures an ultra creepy EVP. The voice says most are young. This leads us to wonder who.
This is one of the clearest and scariest ones I've seen so far. Most are young. Are you kidding me? That is so scary. I'm assuming the spirit is referring to the spirits in the house, like most of the spirits are young spirits, which is honestly just really unsettling. But it looks like these guys are getting some really good activity right off the bat.
As they continue to search the place, they find this doll.
Nervous?
Yeah, that doll hasn't been touched.
Is it possessed? The disembodied voices seem to suggest so.
Right here.
Here it is again, slowed down. They also get a spike on their EMF meter as they come nearer the doll.
It's a steady milligal spike.
Whoa.
That's a 6. 5.5, 5.7, 6.
Okay, so the meter is going off like crazy around the doll, basically confirming that the doll is very haunted. Considering where they found it, I'm really not surprised.
And it gets crazier from there.
8.4. 7.2.
While the EMF continues to spike, two chilling disembodied voices are heard, one after the other.
Strange high EMF spikes in the room, a spirit says. Then, as I move closer to the closet where the doll has been, another spirit warns us by saying,
Based on the EMF readings and the voices heard, I do think this doll is possessed, and I think their handling of it has disturbed the demon within.
I think they might have disturbed the spirits by moving the doll, especially because one of the voices said I paid for her, as in like she is mine, don't touch her. And then when they approached her, the voice said danger. I mean, talk about a bad sign.
Living with poltergeists makes even daily chores interesting. YouTuber Courtney Remarks shares this footage of a poltergeist disturbing her laundry.
after she saw that door swinging by itself, she decided to continue on upstairs is absolutely insane to me, because I personally would instantly reverse back downstairs and probably never go back upstairs ever again. But no, this girl literally just continued on upstairs after seeing that. Honestly, really freaking terrifying, especially seeing something like that with your own two eyes. Yeah, I think I would lose my freaking mind.
After the door makes an unusual move, you can see Courtney pause for a moment before throwing her clothes on the ground in the hallway. Courtney then turns and retreats down the stairs, checking her phone. My guess is that she's reviewing the security footage to ensure that she's not gone mad. The door does not swing shut completely, it just slams slightly, seems to hit something, and is knocked back. So what caused it? The angle is unfortunate because we don't see straight on, but judging by Courtney's reaction, it seems unexplainable. I'm guessing she's used to living with poltergeists.
It definitely sucks because we can't see a better angle of everything that happened. We basically only just see the top of the door and her reaction. And judging by her reaction, this was definitely pretty crazy. Crazy enough for her to stop and do a double take and then have to go back and check her security footage. There's definitely something happening in her home. I'm wondering if it's paranormal or not.
The Inquisition left a dark history behind. YouTuber Alberto Del Arco visits this abandoned house of the Inquisition, and what he finds here is haunting. While exploring the derelict home, they spot something in an empty building.
Pasando a aquel lado, algo está pasando a aquel lado.
Ah, sí, 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 sí. Acá, acá, Luis, acá.
Ok, ¿dónde está más fácil?
En esta torrecita. Allí estaba parada.
What is there? I don't see what they're seeing. It looks like a slight shifting of shadows, but it is not a clear figure. Still, it's enough to scare them all.
No mames, no mames, no mames.
After feeling your hair stand on end, would you take this investigation further? I thought not, and neither would I.
They seem to have seen some sort of shadows shifting behind the railing. It was really difficult for me to make out what it was. It's very, very blurry. Definitely let me know in the comments if you guys can see what they're talking about. Either way though, I would not be taking my chances, especially that early on in the tour. If that is how early you're getting paranormal activity, things are probably bound to get a lot crazier later on.
The Devil's Cabin is home to a dark entity. YouTube team Twin Paranormal revisits the place after envisioning something evil on the first go around, and they know exactly where the evil is.
Spirit here with us right now.
Back door! Oh my dude, did you hear that knocking right before that? Yeah. Literally. I am a child. How did that just happen?
Oh my god, it literally said I am a child. There are very clearly spirits in there with them.
The child spirit is there, and it wants in.
Can you hear us at all? No! No! He's watching you through the window. Oh my!
From the back door to the window, the spirit is watching, or maybe it's already found its way inside.
What was that? Somebody's coming. We hear you.
And the activity continues.
Yeah, that was something.
Do you remember us by any chance? Can you kind of give us a sign, please? They just made a jingle once. What? That was a whistle.
The entity is inside the house, and I can tell it has only evil on its mind.
It's difficult for me to be able to tell if this entity is evil or good, because it is telling them that it is a child, but then again, it could also be lying, so you never really know. They did seem to get a lot of paranormal activity though. There was knocking, banging, they heard footsteps, like a lot was going on, so there is definitely something in there. It's either the spirit of a child or something much more evil, lying, and pretending pretending to be a child. And I really hope it's not the second thing.
This 5-bedroom bungalow may appear quiet and remote, but paranormal entities are active here. YouTube team Ouija Brothers investigates the haunted abode, and before they even enter, they hear strange sounds.
We've obviously got Mart back on the channel. It's great to have him with us yet again. And yeah, the reason... What the hell was that?
What was that?
That was a banshee or something.
Upon entering, they hear even more unsettling noises.
Show yourself to them and if your power or whatever you can do. Is it possible that you could do that very same thing tonight for us three?
What? Tell me you heard that.
A little later, they hear it again.
Do it again, louder.
What can you hear?
Let me know if you guys are hearing anything, but I am definitely not. I'm also trying really hard to focus and hear it, but I really can't.
Although I do hear some distinct unexplained banging, I don't hear the chains rattling, but maybe the mics didn't pick it up. Has someone been chained here? I think yes. This place has definitely locked in its dark secrets.
I guess it is possible that their microphones weren't picking up what they were hearing, but then again, I guess anyone can just say they heard anything. Although this place definitely gave a creepy vibe, I'm not too sure if it is haunted, but honestly, you never really know what is hiding around the corner. Just because it doesn't look haunted doesn't mean it's not.
Located in the UK, Sleip Airfield is an aviation club, but it's not all that it seems. The YouTube team, Spire Paranormal Group, shares this strange light anomaly that was captured on a security camera in the museum. Although this flash is brief, the team were unable to find any logical explanation for it. They tried to debunk it but couldn't.
To me, this looks like someone was taking a photo with flash on and just pointed the flash towards the ceiling. It's a very abrupt and very small flash, kind of like it came from a phone. I feel like with things like this, there's just so many other things that it could be before it being a spirit.
Without a clear idea of what's in the surrounding area, it's hard to tell if it can be explained. But I do know one thing for sure, staring directly into this light is not recommended before bedtime.
I'm not too sure if staring into any light before bedtime is recommended. Either way though, I honestly struggle to like figure out what this could be. Again, to me it just looks like an iPhone flash. I could be wrong. Definitely do let me know what you think. But alright you guys, we have finally made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which clip freaked you guys out the most. I have to admit, for me, it was definitely the Serbian dancing lady. I don't know what it is, but something about that lady truly terrifies me. Every single clip I've ever seen of her is just so scary. But I love you guys so much, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's Jana and I'm back today with yet another video. And I'm so excited for today's video because we're gonna be taking a look at another set of very creepy videos from all over the internet. And I am not kidding when I tell you guys some of these videos are so terrifying. So if you guys are excited for this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it.
It's late at night when a group of friends hear a woman screaming for help and decide to investigate inside the house. They enter and look around trying to figure out where the woman is. Soon the cameraman realizes their female friend is no longer with them, and as they head upstairs they see her getting dragged into a room. They try to go back downstairs, but there's someone blocking their path who appears to be possessed. With the group trapped inside the house, they are eventually each picked off by whatever was in that house. According to the footage, the group was never seen again. And though their reactions seem quite realistic, I've been unable to find more information on the incident, so therefore I cannot decide whether this is real or a skit.
We are definitely starting off with a bang. So apparently they heard a woman scream and then they proceeded to go into the house and get picked off one by one by whatever thing or entity was in the house. We don't really get a whole lot of context behind this video, so I don't really even know what to say other than the fact that that girl crawling up the stairs was so terrifying. If this is a skit though, A+ for creativity.
Two safari hunters kneel over the remains of a wild lion, each too busy posing to notice another member of the pride has been following them this whole time.
That's it. God
boom, boom. That's it.
Are you gonna work on this?
Oh, come on. Right, let me...
As they fiddle with the camera equipment, the silent surviving lion sizes them up without a sound. It waits until they are too close to run and then pounces. Their tour guide lays on his horn to warn them, but it's far too late.
Okay, good stuff.
I'm not sure if this video is real because the lion doesn't make a sound even after it's been spotted.
That is one extremely stealthy lion. I'm sure lions are very good at hunting, but just the way that he lunged at them and did not make a single sound, like it just is giving fake. I don't know, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments.
If this is a real video, then it's more like their final moments rather than a close call.
Oh yeah, one thing is for sure is you are not surviving that lion attack. That beast is ripping you to shreds. If it is real, I think it's safe to say these people are no longer. Can you even imagine trying to take a lion on in a fight? I mean, at that point, I'm just giving up.
Here's a strange dashcam video from Malaysia that will leave you scratching your head. These motorists are on a dark road when they pass by a woman in a pink shirt once, and then again, a little farther up the road, and a third time, at which point they are noticeably alarmed and speed away.
Wait, you're telling me that they saw the same exact woman 3 times on the same road? That is definitely a little bizarre and kind of terrifying considering it looks like it's the middle of the night. Like, babe, what are you doing out in the middle of the road?
Watch the full video and you'll see that they are not driving in a circle. Even if they were driving in a circle, there's no way they could have completed a full lap in the short time it takes for the woman to appear again. Perhaps what's most unsettling about this is how each time the woman's back is turned to them, never once seeing her face.
This is definitely giving me Serbian dancing lady energy, especially because of the way that she's dressed and the way that she's just standing around refusing to look at them. Something is definitely up with that lady. All I know is I would not be approaching her in the same way that they did. Like, what if she's absolutely insane and just attacks me? I am not taking that risk.
This leaked video is reportedly taken by 2 friends somewhere in the United States. Their dog Jake starts to bark with excitement and really doesn't seem to want to go any further. Watch how the animal crosses directly in front of their snowmobile multiple times, almost like he's warning them to stop and turn around.
One thing about animals is they can definitely sense things, and that dog is very clearly telling its owner to stop. Probably because they can sense that something is up ahead.
The 2 friends don't really think much of it and keep going straight, and that's when they come face to face with it. A nearby tall gray creature sends them racing away. The alien-like creature doesn't make much of a sound at all, or at least not one that the camera can pick up, but I do think I can see its head turn towards them at the 2-minute and 20-second mark. The way the dog is acting before this happens also makes me believe this leak video could be real. The dog doesn't act aggressively at all. So either the animal is intimidated or this thing is not actually a threat.
So they ended up running into this Slender Man alien type of figure. It's this like super tall, lanky, gray creature. I mean, it is definitely giving alien. However, the creature didn't really move whatsoever, at least from what I saw. So like, who's to say it's not like a statue or a Halloween decoration? Definitely let me know what you guys think. Is this an alien or something else?
This reportedly leaked video appears to be taken in a desert somewhere on the outskirts of civilization. 2 scientists in full biohazard gear examine a colossal footprint that's been left behind by what appears to be some type of giant creature. I think this video is likely not real because there appears to only be 1 footprint and no others nearby. If there was a series of footprints stretching beyond the horizon, I would be more inclined to believe it's real. Otherwise, they could have easily dug a hole in the shape of a monstrous footprint.
Right off the bat, that is so insanely fake. I have no words. Number one, like they said, there's literally just 1 footprint. If there was an actual creature stomping around, you would see many more footprints. Not to mention, that footprint is ginormous. So you're telling me there's this huge creature just walking around on this very clearly populated beach and absolutely no one saw it? I don't know. In my opinion, there's just absolutely no way this is real.
This live dashcam video was taken somewhere in Russia. It looks like a normal drive when suddenly an enraged creature changes all of that. So the road splitting open doesn't look like CGI to me, which means it's either real or part of a movie set. This next part, however, looks like it could be CGI. The audio kind of sounds like royalty-free stock sound effects, especially the screaming. I noticed that two people to the side of the road on the left don't seem to run away, but maybe they are just stunned and watching.
I do think that the part of the clip that's real is the road splitting open. I don't really know what could have caused that. It might have been like a pipe that burst or some sort of earth. Like, I don't know what caused it. But then clearly someone else went in and edited in this creature flying out of the hole. And it kind of looks like Mothman or something along those lines. Definitely very scary looking, but again, I just do not think that actually happened. Because let me tell you, babe, if something like that happened, you would be seeing it all over the news. It is just way too insane.
A YouTuber named Yankee Reb travels to the haunted battlefield of Gettysburg, Virginia, and stands before an old battle cannon. He grows very still and records nothing but darkness for a full 20 minutes before any paranormal activity occurs. As the night progresses, a lone soldier silently marches around the cannon and stops just outside of the muzzle, which is where you would stand to reload it.
Holy down by the cannon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
I say it could be a soldier because, aside from the historic location, I can also kind of make out the old style sash and hat that some soldiers used to wear.
No way. What is that?
I have no idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
It definitely took me a while to realize what they were talking about, but there very clearly looks to be someone walking around the cannon. And they actually do look like they're dressed in some sort of uniform.
His attire is most visible at around the 1 minute and 58 second mark, so that's when you can get the clearest and most direct look for yourself. Let me know if you can see what he has on.
Did you, honestly?
I wouldn't believe it unless we recorded it.
Maybe this soldier in particular was accidentally taken out by his own cannon while reloading, which used to happen quite often back those times.
Oh my god, I didn't know that was a thing. That sounds horrible. It's definitely an interesting clip because the figure itself is very faint, but it's also noticeable enough for you to get very concerned and be like, okay, something is definitely going on there.
Jason Nilsson and his friend are walking along a path of frozen ice in Utah when they come across some kind of creature colony the likes of which they have never seen before. They appear to have a squishy, loose form, yet they show little reaction when touched.
Okay, touch it.
Oh, did you see it?
Slimy?
Yeah.
Use a stick or something. Gross. Gross.
I have never seen something like this in my entire life. Someone please let me know in the comments, is this some sort of creature? Like, what is going on here? And why are they saying it's slimy? I am very confused.
The giant circular patch of ice has hundreds of strangely shaped egg-like objects melting deep into the ice, but I can't tell if these are actual eggs or maybe even some kind of larva. Whatever it is, the tiny creatures are neatly lined up in creepy, nearly symmetrical rows and not moving. Maybe they are either frozen or worse, still waiting to hatch. Nobody in the comments section has been able to properly identify what these things are, which makes me even more curious. I wonder if this really could be some sort of hatchery site for a rare species we have never seen before.
So it's a bunch of slimy little creatures frozen together in a circle. And apparently no one's been able to identify them. So again, I am just at a loss for words. Could this potentially be like an undiscovered species? Or is this another example of alien activity?
No one knows what these strange gel clumps are made of, but it does have a name, star jelly. Star jelly has been collected from all around the world from Europe to North America, and scientists have been trying to explain what it is for a long time. Originally, they thought it was frog eggs that had absorbed moisture or some other kind of strange fungus. When a DNA test came back as neither plant or animal, they knew they had something truly unique. Now they think this might be some kind of unique space material that makes up plants and meteors, but there's just not enough evidence to know for sure. Worst of all, we don't know what kind of long-term health effects this substance carries, if any. In the meantime, more and more people are spotting star jelly in common places like their front yards. and nobody understands what any of it means.
That's actually pretty wild that they tested this thing and it came back to be neither a plant or an animal. Scientists are saying it's some sort of space material and it's just randomly popping up in people's yards. Can you even imagine walking out into your backyard and finding a bunch of slime?
A YouTuber named Victor Poulin suspects that something is wrong with this plane, and I need your help to come to a reasonable conclusion. The plane looks completely normal until approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds into the video, when a bright red tint forms along the edges seen here. The change in color could be from the way the sun hits the aircraft, but that still doesn't explain how the plane seems to break up into multiple parts. Then again, maybe it's just his unsteady camera.
Now see how it almost looks like it changed shape? There's lights all in different places.
Victor Poulin is convinced that the plane is some kind of holograph, but I think it's pretty unlikely because I've never heard of anything like that before.
To me, it doesn't really look like the airplane is breaking apart or changing shape. I really do think what might have happened is it finally got hit by a ray of sunshine as it was flying, and then he ended up catching it on camera and it ended up looking like it kind of shifted or changed. But to be fair, he is filming from a really large distance and zooming in quite a lot, so the quality is pretty horrendous to say the least. So it is pretty hard to tell, but I would guess that this is just your average airplane. Nothing really to be concerned about.
Paranormal investigators, specialists, and other field researchers have been trying to explain the Hessdalen lights in Norway for decades. These mysterious lights have been observed by residents since the early 80s. Though sightings have decreased in recent years, these lights still randomly appear from time to time and have attracted many followers. As you can see here, they look like small balls of light in broad daylight with no discernible source. Scientists think that this could be from sulfuric gas bubbles mixing with humid air, though they have not been able to prove this. Other researchers believe this could be a UFO hotspot or even a portal to another world.
Okay, even though this is most likely just a natural phenomenon, if I saw this with my own two eyes, I would 100% think I am seeing something supernatural. It looks absolutely insane to just see a burst of light in the middle of the sky. However, it seems like scientists are saying it's the sulfuric acid in the air or something like that, so it's not really magical, but it still looks really freaking cool.
This video was taken just outside of the notoriously haunted Dover Castle in England. A large dark form slowly walks across an entranceway and soon attracts the attention of a security guard patrolling nearby. The guard walks over to investigate, and the shadow silently passes beneath his feet without detection.
Okay, this is so wild because there is very clearly a dark figure in the frame. That looks to be a really, really dark spirit.
Normally, I'd say this could have been some sort of technical malfunction with the CCTV equipment itself, but watching the security guard walk to the exact same spot makes me think otherwise.
I guess things like this can always be edited, but I really did find this one very interesting, especially because the dark figure changed shape and size and literally even passed right under the security guard. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. If I was that security guard though, I would definitely quit my job.
A YouTuber named Shannon Sarmi is excited to travel to California, but far less enthusiastic about her flight, specifically her window, which is not sitting in place and makes this unsettling noise.
Going through the window and I didn't tell anyone.
By the time she lands, the first of the 2 layers of glass has slid down enough to poke her finger through. It looks like she is sticking her hand out of the plane, but she actually isn't. There is one more layer of glass that is hard to see, but still, the thickness of the window is now halved. She notices something was wrong with her window during the flight, but did not tell anyone until the very end, not wanting to cause a panic. I see where she is coming from, and she might have just been too shy and scared to speak up, but I personally think she should have said something, because they might have needed to make an emergency landing to fix it. She was trying to keep everyone calm by not telling, but looking at the condition of the window, I think it could have put everyone's lives in danger, but above all else, I'm just glad that she and everyone else was okay.
I literally cannot believe that she did not say anything about that. It's actually so insane. How was she not insanely concerned and did not say anything until she landed? I mean, at that point, you might as well not even say anything because you're already on the ground. Not this girl literally risking everyone's life on the plane because she was too shy. It's like, I'm scared of flying and I can't even imagine like being on a plane and someone else noticing something like that and just not saying anything. Like, what?
This final video is about as close as it gets. First, a piece of manufacturing equipment malfunctions and causes a pileup of white-hot steel material. The pressure around the blockage continues to build until coils of unformatted steel shoot across the factory floor. The first worker sees the carnage and runs in a zigzag pattern to escape. The second worker, a supervisor from the looks of his clean white shirt, has his back turned and doesn't notice anything until it's too late to react. A rope of liquid steel stops short at his feet and piles all around him. He escapes only to have the machinery behind him burst apart and send more rivets of steel his way. The equipment is shut off, and more of the substance falls to the exact spot where he was just standing.
So much props to people who work in these environments because that is such a dangerous thing to happen. You literally always have to be at the top of your game, paying attention, using all the equipment correctly because things like this can happen and it can be so terrifying. Steel literally started flying everywhere all around them and they were literally just trying to run and avoid getting hit by it. That must be so scary to experience, not to mention everything is happening so fast and you're probably panicking on top of everything. I really hope everyone made it out of there safe.
This video was taken from a waiting station at the Islamabad International Airport in Pakistan. Any strings attached to this chair would be easy to see on the bright and reflective cement floor, but I don't see any, and the chair slides across the room without anyone in sight. It looks like it might be getting pulled by someone off camera here at the 33-second mark, but then it does a 360 all of its own somehow. So that theory is pretty much debunked. There's also no way for magnets to work from beneath a solid concrete floor, so I have no idea how this was done.
I was literally gonna say, what if someone's just pulling it off camera with a string? But then the chair spun all the way around itself, so that makes absolutely no sense. I have seen so many clips of ghosts moving chairs. That's like a ghost's favorite hobby, and they love slamming doors. That's one thing ghosts love to do. If there's a door, they're gonna slam it closed.
This New Orleans restaurant called Tableau's is thought to be haunted by a ghost who will punish you for what it perceives as any bad beverage selections. Here a waiter is preparing the room for a private party and has finished stocking the refreshments when coincidentally the bottles all fly off the shelf and land in the exact area he had just finished sweeping. 3 separate comments in this video further verify that this restaurant is quite haunted. One person said the window in this very same room unlatched itself, another said the fire alarm went off on its own, and a third person said they are never going there again because the spirit was staring at them. These comments, combined with this video evidence, is enough to build a strong case for the paranormal in my opinion.
I can't even imagine being the person that cleaned up that entire room only to have a ghost drop a bunch of wine on the floor and have it spill everywhere. The ghosts really gave that guy a whole lot more work to do. And it does seem like it's a pretty common occurrence in this restaurant because people have said that they've seen spirits stare at them. I mean, it's creepy when anyone is staring at you, let alone a ghost. Nuh-uh, no thank you.
A YouTube channel called Exploring with Eric waits until 3 a.m. to communicate with the other side at a cemetery in Japan. He sets up the spirit box and waits to be contacted. They soon sense the presence of a lonely ghost and a single word comes across their equipment. Apparently the spirit understands its surrounding and knows exactly where it is.
Japan. It's the Japan.
It's the Japan.
The spirit box continues to chirp out static until the waves clear and this phrase comes out. What they're jealous of, I'm guessing, is the fact that Eric is still alive. They probably should leave by now, but curiosity compels them to stay put until the camera goes out of focus, almost like somebody is very near, maybe even in front of them. And I'm not sure, but I think I hear the name Eric spoken in a thick Japanese accent. More spirits seem to find Eric, and by the end of the video, an invisible congregation has formed all around him, and he finds himself is surrounded by hushed threats and whispers of regret. I think this voice is real, because the spirit box only gets a little bit of activity at first, and finishes with a chorus of voices.
A cemetery is bound to be full of paranormal activity, especially at 3 a.m. And of course, a lot of spirits came through and tried to communicate with them. However, it definitely is very eerie how they said the YouTuber's name specifically, because that means the ghosts are getting personal, and one thing you don't want is one of those spirits following you home. Definitely let me know in the comments, would you guys go to a cemetery at 3 a.m.?
From the adventures of Zach and B is sure that a wild animal is in his attic. It's dark up there, so he takes the camera with him for light. The noise coming from his attic is unlike anything I've ever heard before. It sounds like a baleful combination of scratching, growling, and howling. Zach doesn't bother going any deeper, and I really can't blame him. Unfortunately for him, it sounds like something follows him on the way out.
Well, I don't see anything, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Okay, that voice was so scary. How did he not hear that voice? Because that was really clear. I do not like this one.
An unseen voice says don't, and I think it also says get out of here too. Obviously, this is a real human voice and not an animal after all, and whoever was making that noise remains a mystery.
I mean, obviously it's not an animal if it's freaking talking. I really hope when this guy reviewed the footage and heard that he called the police, because either his house is extremely haunted or there's someone living in his attic. And honestly, with the crazy things we've seen so far, I would not be surprised whatsoever.
A live broadcast in Detroit, Michigan captures a bouncing creature in the forest background.
Hey Glenda, good afternoon to you. Yeah, this guy had no respect for the judge, obviously, and prosecutors say no respect.
I thought that it might be some kind of fox hopping through the grass, but this humanoid creature almost looks like it's running back into the forest, away from sight. Let me know what kind of animal you think this could be, especially if you live in Detroit, and tell me if this is what it looks like when a fox is traveling through tall grass, because that's my best guess.
That is 100% some sort of fox or coyote or something along those lines. Because even the way that it was like bouncing through the grass, it just looked like a fox. You could even see that it had little cute pointy ears. So for once, it's nothing scary. It's just an animal. Honestly though, if it's a coyote, it's kind of scary because those things will attack you. They're terrifying.
This aerial video was allegedly taken 70 years ago. If this is to be believed, then what you are watching is an early chemtrail experiment from the 1930s era. As you can see, a strange chemical mixture quickly forms into a dense cloud wall that hovers over the ocean. This video definitely looks like it could be real. It does not have sound, which makes sense since cameras couldn't record sound from back then. Also, the old black spots and white lines in the film really do appear at random and don't seem to be a looping filter.
These are so difficult because you genuinely just don't know if it's real or not. I mean, the video looks insanely old. There's not even sound on it. That wall of smoke looks really scary, especially when you think about like what chemicals could be in there. And I honestly wouldn't really be surprised if it is real, if they were doing some sort of testing in the middle of the ocean back then.
This home security video shows two bright orbs hovering over some bikes in Carolina Beecher's front yard. She watches in silent amazement as the lights remain fixed in place, close to where you would grab the handlebars. The only explanation I have, besides spirits, is perhaps a dual reflection of the car's brake lights. That still doesn't explain how they float all around though, while the car lights remain stationary. At times the lights even seem to join together and become one.
There's absolutely no way that those were the car lights because they looked like they were completely different orbs. And like he said, they would dance around and then sometimes they would merge into one. I don't know, I'm not a professional, but that definitely looked really scary and did not look anything like car lights. I don't know, I feel like I'd be able to tell the difference. Anyway guys, we finally made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Definitely comment down below which video freaked you out have the most. I do have to say that voice that came through in the attic was really creepy. And also that video of the random lady in the middle of the road. Like, what the hell was that about? I really hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi my beautiful people, it's Jana and I'm back today with yet another video. And I am so excited for today's video because we're gonna be switching it up and taking a look at some scary TikToks. I'm telling you guys, there is a whole dark side of TikTok that we have yet to tap into. So today we are diving straight into TikToks that are going to give you nightmares. So if you guys are excited, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Shocking moments caught at Target stores, part 1. In this video, a woman films herself talking to a man in a Target store. It's unclear what they are talking about, but then the woman points the camera at him and asks if he remembers talking to her before. The man instantly starts running out of the Target.
Stop that guy! Call the cops! Call the cops on him! Call the cops!
The woman chases him out yelling for people to stop him and call the police. She chases him all the way out to the parking lot, and he gets in his car and leaves. The woman said that she had seen the man in the Target before, and he had asked her super inappropriate questions that made her feel very uncomfortable.
That was what was going through my head, was just, I had to get his face, I had to get something on him to put him out there and catch this guy.
So very obviously, this guy is some sort of creep. I'm assuming that he uses the Target to lurk and creep on women, which is just totally messed up, but is actually extremely common. That's exactly why you always gotta be aware of your surroundings, because there's crazy people everywhere. And clearly, if he ran from her, he had a reason to run. You would not take off running like that unless you had something to hide. You can see the relief once they finally make it out of that tunnel and onto the grass. The train was literally this close to them. I can't even imagine how terrifying that must have been. However, I do have to say, what the hell were you doing in that tunnel? It just seems to be a very dangerous thing to be doing. These guys barely made it out alive.
Various moments caught on camera PT.11.
Tell me what's wrong. What's wrong?
This woman is unfortunately very clearly under the influence of something absolutely insane. The way that she's just throwing herself around and bending her body in such a weird way is very creepy. Not to mention her literally trying to break into their apartment. That's genuinely concerning. I really hope this lady gets the help she needs and stops trying to break into people's houses, because that's not cool.
Terrifying things found deep in the woods.
This footage shows two dirt bike riders riding on a remote path in the woods on the 15th of September 2017. As they ride their dirt bikes further through the woods, they then come across every dirt bike rider's worst nightmare. Tied up to trees, there was a deadly steel cable trap which they almost ran into at full speed. A steel cable trap is an extremely dangerous trap where someone ties a sharp wire around two trees that blocks the path of mountain bikers and dirt bikers. These traps could easily be fatal and seriously injure people, but thankfully they stopped just in time.
I don't understand understand why anyone would ever put up a trap like that. At that point, you're just intentionally trying to hurt dirt bikers. That wire is insanely thin, and if you're moving at crazy speeds, you're probably not even gonna see it. Hence why if someone drove into that with a dirt bike, they would get insanely injured. So whoever put that up is actually psychotic.
This man claims his psychiatrist controlled and took over his life for 30 years. In 1981 in New York, Marty Markowitz was having a hard time. He was grieving the loss of his parents and having problems with his family business. Marty was a millionaire and financially well off, but was just really lost. He heard about a psychiatrist named Dr. Isaac Ike Hirschkopf, who was rumored to have a direct and unconventional approach with his clients. The doctor began inserting himself into Marty's life. He convinced Marty to give him control over his finances. Marty would run errands for him. The doctor would host parties there and then force Marty to serve the guests as part of the catering staff. He essentially became the doctor's handyman and assistant while paying him. A neighbor of the Hamptons home, journalist Joe Nocera, assumed that Dr. Ike owned the home and Marty was just a groundskeeper. Joe began investigating and realized that this was one twisted ordeal. The doctor persuaded Marty to rewrite his will and leave his entire estate to him, and installed himself as the president of Markowitz's company. And this continued on for 30 years. It wasn't until 2010 when Marty went in for a medical procedure. Afterwards, he noticed that Dr. Ike didn't check on him or visit. And he finally began questioning the relationship. The doctor knew Marty truly didn't have anyone else in his life, and Marty realized that this entire relationship was a fraud. After realizing he was, quote, living a lie, Marty cut off ties with the doctor and later found out that Dr. Ike had done this to multiple other patients over the years. He was ultimately ordered to surrender his license.
Okay, so basically this therapist was actually a serial scammer. He found a way to push himself into this man's life and even start treating him like a servant. Not to mention, he was pretending that his patient's house was his own house. Let's just say this therapist is definitely in need of some serious therapy. And I feel really bad for the patient because he ended up even signing over his entire estate to him in his will. I'm so happy that he finally figured out he was being scammed and got rid of him. Because that therapist really needed to be held accountable. You can't just be doing that, especially to people who are literally coming to you for help and guidance. You're taking advantage of people.
Russia found a sea monster in Antarctica. In 1974, Russian scientists at the Vostok Research Output Station discovered that there was actually a subglacial lake 2 miles beneath them, but it wasn't until 30 years later when they finally breached the ice. The first team of divers that explored the lake encountered a 33-foot-long, 14-tentacle squid that released a toxin into the water to immobilize 3 members of the expedition team, eventually killing them. They then came back with backup, and the scientists were able to then cage the creature. But when they returned to the surface, the creature, whose name is now Organism 46B, was actually seized by the Russian officials, and the team was told to keep this quiet. To this day, nobody has any idea where Organism 46B is, but rumor has it the creature is being experimented on to become a weapon for the Russian military.
I'm not really sure how you would use a giant squid as a weapon in the military, but I do have to admit a 33-foot-long squid sounds insanely terrifying. It's definitely one of those things that I think about when I'm swimming in the deep ocean. Like, are any of these types of really weird creatures really deep below me and I have absolutely no idea?
Today I'm going to be talking about the chilling disappearance of Evelyn Hartley. On October 23rd, 1953, Evelyn went to babysit the 20-month-old Avigo Rasmussen. This particular night, her dad wanted her to call at 8:30 exactly, and when she didn't call, he got concerned. So he tried calling the house, and there was no response. So he waited a little bit longer, and when he still hadn't heard from her, he decided that he was going to go to the house. Now when he arrived and knocked on the door, there was no answer, despite lights being on and he could hear the radio. So he tried again, this time knocking more furiously, hoping that somebody would answer the door. But still, no answer. Concerned why his daughter would not be answering the door, he decided to try and find another way in. He checked all doors leading inside, and everything was locked, until he came across the basement window, which the screen was off and it was sitting open. So he climbed in through that way, only to notice that there had been a ladder set up against the window on the inside, so somebody could get in and out. Once inside the house, he decided to investigate. In the living room, furniture was moved around, Evelyn's books were all over the place, and thankfully he came across the 20-month-old safely sleeping in her crib. Extremely concerned on his daughter's whereabouts, he immediately called the police. Once they arrived, they located her shoes in 2 different rooms, her broken glasses, as well as blood. So they brought in some bloodhounds, which traced the blood a couple blocks away, and they theorized that she had been placed into a car and driven away wherever they were taking her. A couple days later, a resident called the police and told them that they had seen a car speeding away from that area. He had seen one man in the front seat, a man in the back seat, and a girl in the back seat leaning against the window. Several days later, various clothing items were found around the town, and some of them were covered in blood. One of the jackets that had been found, unfortunately, had Evelyn's blood type on it. Throughout the years, multiple people tried coming forth about her disappearance, but were all eventually cleared. After about 25 years, her parents had completely given up hope of ever finding her again. To this day, Evelyn's case still remains unsolved.
I've actually never heard of this case before, and it sounds truly terrible. So to me, it seems that while she was babysitting, someone found their way into the house through that little window in a pretty aggressive altercation, dragged her out of the house, threw her into a car, and drove away. For what reason, we still don't know, because it's still been unsolved to this day. Nobody knows what happened to Evelyn, but it seems like a lot of her items with traces of her DNA resurfaced throughout the town, so it looks like whoever did it was trying to get rid of evidence. And I mean, clearly they were successful because they haven't been caught to this day. This is honestly just a very, very sad story. I really hope one day this case does get solved.
Hey, look, a pizza. You gotta let him into your house now.
That just caught me so off guard. It is a man dressed as a pizza acting extremely creepy, saying he's gotta be let into the house. If I saw this guy on my Ring doorbell camera, I am locking my doors and closing all my blinds, because you must be crazy running up to my door like that dressed as a pizza. It is a little bit funny, but it's also scary.
These are videos humans were never meant to see, part 1. The video that I'm about to show you shows what happens to being exposed to radiation for too long, which would then leave behind your shadow. But that's not the scary part about the video. The man who was doing the experiment in this video died 3 days after, but the scientist said it had nothing to do with the experiment, but it actually did, and he got radiation poisoning.
So because of the really intense radiation that he was just exposed to, his shadow was left behind on that wall. The effects that this amount of radiation would have on the human body is just insane. I don't even understand why this experiment was a thing. This is really, really scary and really sad. They were really going a bit crazy with the experiments back in the day. But alright, you guys, we have finally made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which one of these TikToks is gonna give you nightmares. All I know is I'm gonna be remembering that 33-foot octopus every time I'm swimming from now on. Come on, that is one giant creature. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, my beautiful people, it's Jana, and I'm back today with yet another video. And I really hope you're ready, because today things are about to get spooky yet again, and that's because today we're diving into another set of very scary videos from all over the internet. So if you're ready, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the video.
What does an alligator sound like when it's angry? Well, you're about to find out. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office posted this scary video.
I'm not really sure what I expected an angry alligator to sound like, but I do know that that sound is definitely not what I was expecting. That is one really angry alligator.
This 11-foot monster was discovered at about 1 in the morning in Oakland Hills Place, Florida, hiding under the homeowner's Jeep when the FWC Florida Fish and Wildlife came to assist in its capture. They were met with this. Not an easy gator to capture, and in the process, it took out the homeowner's light pole, but at last, with the help of 4, they managed to sedate him.
Could you even imagine finding a ginormous alligator hiding under your car? That is genuinely a really scary situation to be in because those alligators are not to be messed with. We all know that thing will rip you to shreds. I mean, they literally said it took 4 people to take down 1 alligator. That's enough to tell you those things are really freaking strong.
This strange incident occurred in Brazil in September of 2017 and was captured on video by YouTuber Daniel Coelho. The disturbance shows this man going nuts in front of a bus, preventing it from moving forward.
I'm gonna go right ahead and assume that this man is under the influence of something. I'm not really sure what, but that is not normal human behavior. I honestly really hope he's okay because he does not look well at all.
Someone outside is seen briefly approaching him before becoming too frightened to get involved. The man's behavior grows exponentially aggressive and bizarre. The bus finally starts to back up from this man who's clearly out of his mind.
Se ele saísse da frente, dava pra você dar uma arrancada e sair fora, né? É, mas aí vou largar um disco aí, ó.
Well, some think this man is crazy. I think he's sadly on something causing this behavior. Let's hope either way, this man got the help he so clearly needed.
Can you even imagine being one of the passengers on this bus? I would honestly be very scared because you don't know what this guy is capable of. What if he decided to come onto the bus?
This video will have you seriously side-eyeing your next in-flight meal. Posted to Twitter by Handy Joe, this disgusting find occurred on a flight on Sun Express airline from Ankara to Dusseldorf.
I literally cannot believe I am seeing this with my own 2 eyes. You're telling me someone found a snake head inside their airplane food? That is the most disgusting thing I think I've ever heard. How does a snake head even end up in someone's food? You're telling me snakes are just running wild in whatever kitchen or factory this food was made in? Because if that's the case, then that is a serious problem.
The meal was half eaten by a cabin crew member before they discovered the severed snake head mixed in with the greens. While there's an upside to knowing what's in your food, sometimes ignorance is bliss. This seems like yet another video on this list not meant for public viewing.
That video cannot be good for business because what the hell? Not to mention, they've also found beetles in the food, which is insanely gross. If I was enjoying my meal on a plane and I came across a bug inside the food, I think I would probably have a meltdown. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do if you found a snake head in your food.
What is lurking below the ground? This image and video may have the answer, which is that you don't want to know. This video, captured in the Hoa Binh province of Vietnam, is presumed to be a re-upload and is trending in the Vietnamese-speaking YouTube community.
There seems to be some sort of insanely ginormous hole in the ground. I honestly don't know how the hole came about. Like, did it cave in naturally or did something else happen?
The woman who captured the video said her uncle discovered a strange hole below their house. They presumed it was a burrow for a giant snake, but it was actually a deep hole created by water. As the home's residents peer inside, the image appears to show a foggy figure, which we can of course presume is the demon of this underground layer, but I'm more apt to think that this is just a trick of the light and nothing more. What do you think is going on here?
Initially, they thought that the hole was made by a ginormous snake. However, it turns out that the hole was made by water. Either way though, it's pretty scary to have a ginormous hole under your house, especially if you're seeing random creepy figures down there. There could be a whole demon living in that hole for all they know.
Located in Stoke-on-Trent in the UK, this haunted museum and spirit shop just received a new haunted item, a Royal Marines beret, and this new addition is making a big splash. Let's see what activity it brings. The beret seems to have sent the mannequin head into a nosedive. This seems truly haunted to me. The mannequin head looks heavy, and the way it falls does not appear like it could be orchestrated. My thinking is that this royal beret is still attached to the last Marine who wore it.
You can definitely tell by the way that the mannequin head falls over that it's not like the styrofoam type of head. It seems to be pretty heavy, so there's no reason why it should have just toppled over by itself. And considering that it's an object that belonged to a Marine, it's honestly very likely that that beret is haunted, and whoever or whatever is attached to it is now starting to cause paranormal activity. It's honestly pretty creepy.
When your swimming pool turns into a whirlpool, it's time to find solid ground. Shared by Twitter account Nature is Metal, this scary video shows an incident in Israel when a sinkhole opened up in an in-ground pool at a party.
Okay, wow, that genuinely looks really terrifying. I'm honestly a little confused as to what's going on here. How is this happening?
6 people were in the pool when the sinkhole drained it. While you can only see the inflatable toys being sucked into the vortex at this point, 2 men also got caught in the vortex. One was left injured while the other unfortunately lost their life. While this event is rare, it's actually not that rare. Florida alone sees some 6,500 claims for sinkholes each year.
Wow, so this actually ended up being a fatal accident. So turns out the foundation and the soil in the middle of the pool just gave in and it started sucking all the water down there.
Dennis of Dark Life explores this haunted school, and there's something here waiting for him. As he enters the school, he immediately starts to hear repeated noises coming from upstairs. It's like something is jumping on a bed.
It doesn't even sound like a ghost, like it fully sounds like someone else is in the house with him. I am not liking this whatsoever.
No one is there, but then he hears a sound behind him. It sounds like a child's laugh. Later, as he's waiting on the stairs, something unseen gets aggressive with him. As he's lying on the ground, he hears some action in the adjacent room. His still camera positioned in the room captures what happens.
Talk about paranormal activity. Initially, it started off pretty small, but then things escalated rather quickly. It seems like the spirits in there are fully throwing furniture and opening doors. Clearly, these ghosts have a lot to say.
What is haunting this scary school? Whether it's the school's former pupils or the teachers, I'm not sure, but to me, they seem aggressive. Perhaps they're trying to teach those who dare to step foot here a lesson.
It is very possible that the spirits are of the students and the teachers that used to go and work at the school. I'm guessing some of them decided to stick around, and clearly they put on a show for this guy. Because oh my goodness, a lot went down in this one. I mean, let's just talk about the children's laugh at the very beginning of the clip. That right there would have been enough for me to run straight out the door.
What's lurking in this backyard? Posted to the Paranormal Evidence subreddit, a mysterious figure triggered this resident's Wise security camera. Let's take a look. The resident received a notification that said person detected, but this is obviously not a person. While I personally am prone to thinking this one's an insect, it still wouldn't hurt for this dude to douse his house in holy water and sage.
I literally don't understand what about this looks like an insect. I feel like if it was an insect crawling on the lens, you would be able to see that it's an insect. It wouldn't look like a dark shadow flying across the lens. I don't know, the whole insect theory just makes absolutely zero sense to me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this a spirit or just a bug crawling around? I've never seen seen any bug that looks like that.
While navigating this haunted abbey in the UK, Jade and Rory of Ghost Club Paranormal did not encounter one of its healing monks, but something far more sinister. They asked the spirits to touch one of the spirit balls to let them know they're present, and it complies.
You want to touch the one that's closer to us? Because right now we're not too sure if there's somebody here with us. We're not too sure.
Yeah. Later, they hear a distinct knock from a dark corner of the abbey. While using a spirit box, they receive a very direct message from whatever is haunting this abbey.
Can you tell me? That was like the second it said that, I was just like, well, he's here. It is amazing though. Like, this place is absolutely insane.
So it looks like the spirits in this place really want to be. They're very clearly not happy about being recorded.
Is this a demon? Or maybe just a particularly unfriendly monk? Whatever it is, to me, this abbey really does appear to be hosting some spirits.
I mean, with the sensors going off and the spirit box, I would say that that place is pretty haunted. And not only that, but the spirits don't really sound too friendly. You never know if you're gonna run into a friendly spirit or a spirit that wants nothing to do with you.
Old houses often carry with them dark histories and even some dark spirits. Redditor Ladder Towel 9403 shares this video of some strange activity in her 1840s home. After seeing her kitten stare at a corner in the closet for an unsettling amount of time, she captures this.
The fact that the closet door is closing really slowly is making it 10 times more creepy. Not to say that if the door slammed, it wouldn't be terrifying, but they did mention that this is a home that was built in the 1800s. So like, you're crazy if you think you're not gonna have a paranormal experience in this house. I mean, the 1800s, like, come on.
YouTuber Eder Hernandez and his crew are about to face off with some evil demons. One of the crew believes he heard a mother playing with a child, but the cameraman's mic picked up nothing.
Pero sí estás. No, sí estabas hablando, güey. Te lo juro por Dios, yo también te... La cámara debió captar el audio. No, tú no te acuerdas de nada.
¿No? Te lo juro, pero es que no. Yo vine atrás de ustedes, normal.
Later, they come across this strange square-shaped storage space in the ground.
No hay nada abajo, güey. Ah, nomás está hasta aquí, ¿no? Sí, güey. Ah, sí. ¡A la p*** madre!
Not long after, one of the crew seems very afraid to enter this particular room.
Fósil, Esteban. Luis, vente para acá, carnal. Está agarrando la rama con espinas, güey. Vente para acá, papacito.
The way this would actually be me in this situation, it's literally the middle of the night, it is pitch black, and all they have is flashlights. And on top of that, they're finding random hiding spots in the middle of the forest. This is definitely not looking good.
¿Viste eso? ¿Qué era, güey? ¿Qué pollo? No sé, lo va a captar esta cámara.
That looked like a bat, but something even stranger happens.
Ese. Si no están listos, ahí voy, ¿con quién estás jugando, güey? ¿Qué pido? ¿Con quién estás jugando? Ya te encontré, puto, Ya te encontré, ya encontré primero. Voy por ti. ¿Por quién?
The crew member seems to be talking gibberish and acting very strangely. His behavior is childish, and the rest of the crew is very alarmed.
It looks like some sort of bat flew out of the house, and then one of the guys in the group started acting really weird. He's talking gibberish and just making absolutely no sense. Not to mention he's running away from them, so something is definitely going on here. I'm just hoping he's not possessed.
Es un juego. Bueno, agárralo. Estás llorando. Fósil, ¿qué pedo, carnalito? Eres fósil. Fósil.
They keep telling the possessed crew member that he is old, but he seems in a daze. Was he really possessed by the spirit of a child? And to what did that creepy voice belong to? My guess is that it belonged to the spirit's mother.
It definitely did sound like he was possessed by the spirit of a really young child. He was even crying and just not acting like himself whatsoever. I really hope they got him to snap out of it and things turned out okay.
A fearful element is creeping in this attic in this village. Paranormal Point investigates, installing cameras in the attic in question. Let's see what they captured. Something is walking around the attic. You can hear its steps in the hay, but before you can see it, what creature made that horrid screech? It seems to me that whatever it is clearly doesn't want to be seen.
Ew, I really hated that sound. That was a very animalistic screeching sound. I really truly hope it was some sort of bird that was living in the attic and not like a demon or something. But then you also wonder what knocked the camera over. I can't lie to you, I think that might be a haunted attic. It might be time for you to move out.
This seriously creepy photo has been making the rounds online, and its origins are apparently a mystery. The split screen photo shows a woman tilting her head quite normally in one half, while in the other, her head is turned at such an angle that it appears her neck has snapped. Is she double jointed, or has this been photoshopped? In examining both pics, you can see it's the same photo. Everyone else in the photos is positioned the same. It seems like the woman's head has been tilted by mere degrees, making her appear all too uncanny. Even in the normal pic, it looks as though she has no whites to her eyes. Her eyes almost look demonic. According to the article, some were claiming that this pic was taken during a paranormal show in Japan, but apparently this was debunked, as a real video revealed that the woman is just smiling for the camera. So can we assume that both images have been photoshopped? That's what I'm thinking, but I may be wrong.
I didn't know that you could be double jointed in your neck. Like, how can you even put your face in that position? I don't understand. Honestly though, if this picture isn't photoshopped, this girl has some serious talent.
Located in Brampton, Rotterdam in the UK, it's best that you say your prayers if you enter this old Victorian chapel. Phil Sinclair's Paranormal Investigations investigates, and what Phil finds is uncanny. After asking the spirits inside to reveal themselves, they make their presence known.
Knock on the floor, knock on the door.
There's actually no way I am hearing this correctly right now. Those voices sound so freaking demonic. That has to be pre-recorded or something.
After ensuring that no one else is in the building, Phil realizes he may have just witnessed paranormal activity.
What? Is that you? Is that you? What is? Get that thing off. What is that?
It sure seems like it to me. Even the paranormal device is triggered on the ground as the door moves. This is an open and shut case in my opinion. I guess this place really is haunted.
Let me know in the comments if you guys think this place is haunted. The way that door closed was really terrifying. I do wonder though where those voices were coming from. Like, were the demons speaking to them through a spirit box, or were they just like speaking out loud? This one is definitely leaving me with a lot more questions than answers. I don't know, those voices were a little bit crazy.
Shared by Arte Morbid, this video shows a group of paranormal researchers coming across a witch in the middle of the desert night. Watch for the light in the distance.
Está una luz. Fondo, miren, está una luz al fondo. Ah, cabrón, como que se va. Miren. Tambalea como las brujas. Como las veía hace años. En donde vivo yo hay una cruz, así se está.
They think the light is coming from a witch, and as they get closer to the light, you can see it's glowing like a fire.
Está más cerca, más cerca, más cerca. Ahí
He's
está.
saying it's a witch.
Ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está. Ven, acércate. ¿Acaso me tienes miedo?
Okay, but my question is, why would a witch be glowing in the dark? I don't know, I feel like we're rushing to the conclusion that it's a witch a little bit too soon. I feel like there's quite a few things you could assume that it is before you can assume that it's a witch. I don't know, babe, it seems a little far-fetched.
¿Por qué no vienes aquí donde estoy?
Apparently, witches in Mexico are known to play with fire. Is this a witch or something less paranormal? I'm on the fence about this one. I think we'd have to get a closer look to make an educated guess.
¿Por qué no vienes aquí donde estoy?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Could be a flare.
Miren, miren, ahí está. Ven, te estoy viendo, acércate.
I got closer to it.
¿Qué es lo que estás haciendo aquí?
It's kind of funny how the other guy is like, well, it could be a flare, while the other dude is just absolutely convinced it's a witch. However, they did confirm that it's believed in Mexico that witches do turn to balls of fire at night and fly around. So I guess that kind of ties into why he thought it was a witch. However, the video was filmed from a very far distance and it was pretty blurry. Not to mention it was almost pitch black. But all right, you guys, we have finally made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which video you found the scariest. I have to say that video of the sinkhole that was just sucking everybody into the ground was really scary. Just another thing to add to the list of things to be terrified of. But I love you guys so much and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi everyone, it's your girl Jana and I'm back today with yet another video. And today we're gonna be taking a look at some really scary and disturbing videos from all over the internet. So I really hope you're ready. And if you are, don't forget to smash the like button and the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Most of this looks normal, but there's just one thing out of place. See if you can spot it. TikToker Erwin Bomank shares this mysterious video. Did you see her? There is a strange girl in white lurking on the sidelines. Well, she could very well just be a curious villager who's come to see the show. She looks extremely out of place. She's also standing eerily still. I'm not so sure what to make of this. She could be an apparition, but it's not 100%.
This is definitely a really difficult one to explain what could be going on here. Either there's a random girl lurking around this field or there's some sort of apparition. And honestly, both are pretty bizarre.
Domingo Calvo of Peru captured this crazy fleet of unidentified flying objects over Machu Picchu, Peru. Watch from the top right corner.
I was preparing myself to see some sort of flying saucer fly into the frame, but those things seem to be pretty tiny, so I honestly have no idea what they could be. It's just not giving UFO in my opinion. I feel like it's just way more likely that it's a bunch of birds flying together, but what do I know?
This occurred just hours after a large meteor passed over Cusco. Could it be debris from the meteor? Or perhaps extraterrestrials aboard the meteor dispersed in their unidentified flying objects to cruise down to Earth? I'm not sure what they are, but I'm sure of one thing though. They're not birds.
Why are we so sure these things are not birds? Let's be real, it is most likely debris from the meteor that passed by.
Is your workplace haunted? Redditor Big Establishment 196's workplace definitely is. Watch for the figure walking from the right.
I'm gonna catch this weird thing going on. Oh, there he is. I told you.
The Redditor says this happens every day at 3:45 in the morning. Well, some in the comments say the Redditor used a program to create this effect. It's a good one. It had mostly everyone in the comments scared. Based on the Redditor's post history, I think this is probably fake, but I've got to give him some credit for the effort.
I can't even lie to you, it took me so long to be able to see what they were talking about. The figure that is walking through the gas station is so faint, like it's barely visible. The fact that they mentioned that this keeps happening at 3 a.m. tells me that this has to be some sort of paranormal activity, because we know all the scariest and craziest stuff happens at 3 a.m. I just honestly can't imagine being this guy alone at work and seeing this. Obviously though, there's always the option that this was all fake. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think.
Old places must attract spirits, or they just told a lot more history than most. YouTuber Vault of Fear posted this intriguing video of what looks like a stone castle. Watch the hallway.
Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, this footage is genuinely terrifying. Did you guys see that dark figure literally walk past the hallway? And of course we know that older places with a lot more history tend to have a lot more paranormal activity just because so many things have happened in them and so many people have gone in and out. And very clearly there are some spirits still lurking around this place.
The anomaly in the hall looks like brief light breaking across the shadows, but without any context as to who else was in this building at the time. or if there is a window situated on the opposite wall. It could, for instance, be a passing headlight shining in through a corner window at the end of the hall. You can also hear other people wandering around on the floor of the building throughout the clip. Maybe a flashlight was being used. While I do think this one's inconclusive, it does make for interesting viewing.
In my opinion, it definitely does not look like a flashlight or any sort of light shifting. It does look to be a dark figure, so I honestly have no explanation for this, but it really is giving me sinister vibes for some reason. I don't think whatever spirit that is a good spirit.
In early July 2022, several videos began popping up showing a vivid green sky over the Midwest US. TikToker Elizabeth Ann shares this one. According to her boyfriend, the sky is not dangerous. I'd beg to differ though. In fact, green skies are usually a sign that a tornado is brewing, as is shared by TikToker Lady Architect 08 in this second video.
You know that movie Twister when they say it's going green? I'm gonna show you that. That's what this means. Now it doesn't look super green on my phone, but look at it compared to the ground and the trees. It's gonna hail.
While I couldn't find any reports of tornadoes touching down, during the derecho that tore through South Dakota and the Great Plains in early July, the New York Times did post of tornado-like winds.
I had no idea that sometimes before a tornado or a big storm, the sky would turn green. That literally sounds crazy, and it looks even crazier when you look at it. It was fully green, like as green as the trees and the grass. How the hell does that even happen? Now at least I know that if the sky is ever looking a little green, I know I better go and hide.
You may remember this clip from a year ago when it was trending in the Eastern European YouTube community. Now it's trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. So we're gonna take another look. Appearing on Breakman, the clip is originally from the Singapore channel True Horror Stories POV, filmed in the point of view of someone navigating hallways, elevators, and a stairwell while being stalked. Its first-person perspective continues to give me chills, and the stalker is not of this world.
This is another one of those clips that literally has me shook. That figure looks insanely terrifying. It seems to be moving around the stairwell really, really quickly, almost concerningly fast. I mean, it's very obviously chasing after whoever is filming this, which honestly just tells me that whatever apparition that is, it's definitely up to no good. Because why the hell are you chasing people in stairwells?
What is this figure? And what does it want from this person? One viewer, YouTuber Abdul Mateen bin Ismail, pointed out a significant piece of symbolism in the clip that I hadn't noticed during the first watch. At timestamp 4:44, the person in the elevator is passing the 4th floor when a figure appears outside the elevator. Watch closely. Did you see it?
Let me know in the comments if you guys saw the figure. I definitely saw it. Whatever place this guy is in, it is insanely haunted because it seems like wherever he goes, there's paranormal activity.
Well, this thrill ride is a reenactment. According to the original source, it's based on actual events. If this is indeed something someone experienced, I'm surprised they lived to tell the tale.
I have no idea how I would handle being in a situation like this. Stairwells are creepy enough as it is, and now I have to be worried about seeing something like this in there, and I can't even take the elevator because I could see it there too. Literally nowhere is safe.
YouTuber Donnie Drunkard is being haunted by aggressive demons. It started with the usual scratches in the night, and there's also the feeling. Here's how Donnie explains it.
There's been a lot of that and a lot of, I guess, chatter. Some good, some bad, and I just don't know how to describe it. There's been times where I feel like somebody's right behind me right now.
Later in the clip, with EVPs abound, we're gonna need to turn up the volume for this one.
Oh, somebody heard something. I heard that. A scream. I heard a knock. I just heard a knock. I don't know. It's just...
There's a scream, a knock, and then what sounds like a woman crying.
I guess chatter. Some good. I heard a knock. I just heard a knock. I don't know.
Where are these EVPs coming from? Did their source also scratch up Donnie's arm? If Donnie doesn't live in a loud neighborhood, I have to believe that something dark is living in the house with him.
Once again, I have to be completely real with you. I did not hear most of the knocks and the sounds that he was talking about. At one point, I did hear a faint woman scream, and that did sound really scary. But it was very quick and I barely heard it, so like I can't really say that I heard much going on. However, the scratches on his arm do tell me that he is definitely dealing with a very negative spirit.
This is a scary catch. The team at YouTube channel Crazy About Fishing and Cooking were out fishing and cooking when they spotted something creepy in the woods. Watch between the trees.
What the hell was that? Something was definitely lurking and running around the forest around them. These guys are just trying to have a grand old time fishing and cooking in the forest, and they're very clearly not all alone. I am really truly hoping that is some sort of animal and not like a skinwalker or a demon, because that would not be fun.
It's hard to tell what it is. It's too dark to make out any details, but it looks to me like a shape-shifting creature. Then again, it could be an animal from this distance. What do you think it is?
It absolutely looked like it was shape-shifting. At the very beginning, it looked like it was standing up tall. And then when it ran a little forward, it looked like it was on all fours, kind of like crawling. So I'm genuinely confused. I have no idea what that creature is. I really hope for their sake, they got out of there as soon as possible.
Dabbling in the dark arts has its consequences. CVS Paranormal analyzes this group's experience with a Ouija board in this scary video, and let's just say it's not all fun and games. This video is originally from Curved TV. After a time of zero communication, the girls start to give up.
I'm so done.
Yeah, my arm hurts. Guys, there's no point.
Until this happens.
You did.
You're joking. You told me.
Yeah, you did that. It was totally you. I'm not doing it.
The planchette clearly moves on its own here. Only one of the players has her hand on it. This is where John comes in.
I told you, Jay. I told you it wasn't me.
Oh.
According to CVS Paranormal, the spirit communicates his age and how he had his life taken by spelling out G-U-N.
Okay, wow, so it seems like they successfully contacted a spirit with a Ouija board. It must be a really, really powerful spirit because it's moving the planchette without any of the people even touching it. Honestly, that's a little bit freaking crazy. It spells out the name John, so I'm guessing that is the spirit that they're talking with. However, you can't forget that spirits can also lie to trick you, so you never know, it could always be someone else.
Thinking this must be a prank, one of the girls asks this.
Say something then.
Say boo. Boo.
Typical girls. Boo. Holy
After something is thrown in the background, the ghost spells B-O-O. I'm not sure I believe every detail, unless the spirit is incredibly active, but I do believe that you're asking for trouble when you play with a Ouija board. Things are literally out of your hands.
Whatever spirit it is, it's powerful enough to move objects. So I'm really starting to wonder if they were dealing with something negative and bad here, because by the end, it definitely started to give me an evil vibe.
While exploring an abandoned place, YouTube team Terror Alex Stremo spots a terrible nightmare. You've heard of the lady in white. Well, how about the lady in black? They spot her again hiding around a corner.
Ay, como que vi que se movió algo. Hey. Sí, nos está viendo alguien.
But eventually she disappears. They continue to explore the abandoned place, and it seems like they're being followed.
That rock rock being thrown would definitely make me run out of there so fast. It definitely does look like there's a woman in a black gown just walking around this abandoned place. I do, however, wonder if she was the one that threw the rock at them. I guess we're about to find out.
Then she appears again. But again, she escapes, only to scare them anew. The game of hide and seek continues.
¿Quién eres? Buenas noches.
Until it culminates. In this. Who is this devil bride? I have no theories, but this team better escape before she makes one of them her eternal groom.
That definitely escalated a lot quicker than I expected. Not only did she end up throwing another rock at them, but this girl literally started screaming at the top of her lungs. These guys are literally exploring a completely abandoned place, and this is what they run into. I think I would literally lose my mind.
Kathy is being haunted by a musical spirit.
It's okay, honey. You heard it though, right?
Oh my god!
This isn't the only terrifying incident in her home. Watch this series of events play out.
And I'm hearing something.
Okay, babe, yes, your house is insanely haunted. First, you had those bottles falling out of literally nowhere, and now somehow that door is closing completely by itself. I will never understand how people decide to stay and live in these haunted places. Like, are you kidding me? You're living with a literal demon. Get the hell out of there. It is definitely not worth it.
On Kathy's YouTube channel, Paranormal Nightmares, she shares more footage of the haunting taking place in her kitchen. The uploader said that she went to the basement to do laundry, and when she came back upstairs, 2 cupboards were open and an ornament was rocking back and forth. She checked the security footage and this is what she found.
Footage is actually mind-blowing because so much paranormal activity is happening in one room. You have this random ornament just rolling around on the stove, and then for some reason the cabinets are just flying open by themselves. It looks like whatever spirits are living in the house are super comfortable and super active. They do not mind making themselves known whatsoever.
The ornament continues rocking through the rest of the clip. To me, it definitely seems like this is a clear-cut case of poltergeist activity. At least it's not wreaking any more havoc. Or is it?
I guess the ghosts aren't being aggressive and they're not causing any damage, but they're still way too active, at least for my liking. Way too much stuff is going on in that house for me to be able to live in it.
All Things Paranormal sent me this video saying I had analyzed their very first video at this place. And now they're back again to see what kind of paranormal activity they can catch on camera again. Located in Louisiana, this place is supposedly cursed. They said that here there is a tree that they say is so haunted because long ago the Europeans buried a native alive under the tree because he refused to give up his land. Now he supposedly haunts this place, keeping anyone else away. For this investigation, with only herself and her oldest son to help assist her 7-year-old daughter holding her heavy camera, it was only the 3 of them out there. It starts when they can hear noises in the pitch black. Only the swamp surrounds them.
We're hearing things like noises around us, things being thrown out the trees.
Next, more noises like rustling in the branches and twigs breaking can be heard.
Because it does have poison ivy on it. Hearing noises, spirit.
I cannot believe they're out there in the middle of the night doing this. It looks like they're getting some activity, like they're hearing noises from around them in the forest. However, it is difficult to tell in nature because it always could be an animal or something else. It doesn't always mean it's a ghost or a demon or something like that.
Above her head, she can hear something in the tree. When she looks up, something from the tree gets thrown down, something heavy.
That came from right above me.
Next, she asks, is there a spirit out there that needs help? Right then, she gets an answer. It sounds like it says black. What this could mean, though, I'm not entirely sure. She puts the EMF reader down on a rock and an orb flies from her back. You can clearly hear her kids whisper about the orb, meaning it's visible both on camera and in person.
I am not really getting the haunted vibe whatsoever. Quite literally every noise that they've mentioned, that they've heard, has been a normal noise that you would hear in a forest. I think maybe if you're gonna do paranormal investigations in a forest, do it during the day, so you can actually see what the hell is going on.
Next, her daughter says it sounds like someone was walking through the woods. Then a loud bang is heard on the guardrail. She pans the camera towards it. You can see how far of a distance she is from it.
That was right next to you. Look. It's a penny.
They find pennies on the guardrail. Could that have been from the sounds they were hearing earlier? Note the guardrail is directly under the tree, where the branches sounded like they were being walked on. Finally, this becomes too much and her daughter says she hears footsteps and they leave shortly after.
Rustling through the trees. Back here, across the street. I hear footsteps. That too.
I just respect the fact they went back here at all. It certainly seems like this place lives up to its reputation.
I'm not sure if any of that was paranormal activity whatsoever. It could have been, but it also could have just been nature making nature noises. I mean, just because it's dark and you can't see, that doesn't mean that there's not animals everywhere all around you. Because there definitely are. I mean, you're in the middle of a forest.
Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by what's a username 4190. This Redditor posted this video with a simple question: ghost or intruder? Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Okay, I literally hate this clip so much. That scared me way more than it should have. Did you guys see that face? That was creepy as hell. Oh my god, okay, it is definitely either a ghost or intruder. I'm not really sure which one of the two it is, but whichever it is definitely really terrifying, and I think it might be time to get the hell out of there.
The uploader gave some context in the comments saying, so a little backstory about this video. It was taken when I lived in my old apartment in Jefferson Park, Illinois. I want to say it was sometime around 0:30 and I fell asleep on my couch, and for whatever reason, to which I have no idea why, when I heard the door opening, I thought it would be a great idea to record it with my phone.
So they were asleep, and once they heard the door opening, they woke up and started recording. I'm guessing in hopes of catching whatever it is on camera. And let me tell you, they definitely caught something, because that face was so scary.
But some Redditors were still confused, with commenter Sabbath Omega saying, honestly, I'm struggling to put together everything I'm seeing. I'm guessing the eyes you're talking about are the dots on the left. Everything is so dark though, so I can't make out details, like if that's where the door is, or if it's just shadows. Regardless of whatever it is, I'm glad you're okay. Home intrusion ain't a joke, trust me. Do you see what the uploader is talking about? I'm assuming it's the eye-looking dots on the left side of the screen. Do you think they belong to a ghost or intruder?
I really don't know about everyone else, but I can very clearly see what they're talking about. Once again, I'm not very sure what it is, but whatever it is, it can't be good. I also really hope you called for help after that, because if that was an intruder, they need to get dealt with.
YouTube team Ghost Dimension investigated Newsham Park Hospital, and they weren't disappointed. The psyche camera, hidden halls, and Naughty Boys corridor are said to be full of paranormal activity. The team captured this intense encounter on camera.
Then you make a noise, sound.
Bang on the table.
What the
Oh my.
After asking the spirits to make a sound, they hear one.
Bang on the table.
And then they see movement.
Oh my.
Well, I didn't hear the sound myself. Apart from the gasp of one of the crew, there's no denying that something was in the room with them. Must be one of those naughty boys they named a whole corridor after.
I think in today's video, we're seeing the most paranormal activity we have ever seen. Quite literally, the moment they asked for a sign, the spirit gave them a sign. That ghost was definitely waiting and ready to talk.
YouTube team Paranormal Boys spends an evening in this abandoned house, and what they experience there keeps them up all night. First, their camera battery drains almost instantly.
This was full when I put it in, so I've got to put another one in.
While speaking to the spirits, he asks them to do something and they respond. As they continue, the spirits insult them.
Was that kid? Yeah, I heard that. Did you hear that?
So it looks like we have another super haunted place. Not only is the place haunted, but the spirits are literally roasting them.
He again asks them for action and they answer.
Was that any of you? Hey? No.
Then the spirit hits it right on the nose.
Come on, if you go by it, we can communicate with you. Prove to us you exist. Communicate. That's exactly what we're trying to do with you.
In fact, the spirit seems to be breathing right down their necks.
Oh. That's true. Did someone just grunt? Did you just grunt? Or breathe through your nose? Anyone?
The thing that most interested me about this video is that the spirits seem to be directly communicating and reacting to the guys. Oftentimes in these videos, the conversations don't make much sense, but this time it's spot on.
I agree, they definitely had some like very spot on conversations with the spirits. Not to mention the spirits literally saying their names, touching their hair, and breathing down their necks. Like, I'd say that is pretty clear evidence of paranormal activity. But alright, you guys, we have finally made it to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments which video freaked you out the most. I have to say that stairwell video where that entity was just running around chasing the person. Like, come on, that video was so terrifying. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.